So yeah, welcome back to the Role Playing Games. So, like I mentioned, oh, maybe mute. I heard some background noise, but Kyle might join us. So we'll just have some adventures here in Iron Haven in the downtime. And so, yeah, I don't know. Player recap at all? You guys want to fill us back in on where we left off?
Well, we made it to Iron Haven. We bought some stuff. We tried to steal some stuff. We bought some stuff and we tried to steal some stuff and now we're resting. I think that's the smallest recap I could give.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, we made it to this guy Elrond's place.
Yeah.
He seems to be, like, my understanding was that he was like some kind of steward.
He's
Essentially.
very eccentric. He's Lord Elrod. Ron.
So they're actually his stewards, Lorena and Errigoldian. His title is Magistrate.
Okay.
But yeah, he's basically a lord over in this area, and you guys definitely have a fancy little room that Lorena already had there. You guys can utilize, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up. You guys can get up to your shenanigans if you want to describe how you guys wake up after your luxurious restings. And, you were intending to start a long rest, but, you're still feeling pretty good anyway. You could get some abilities back. But, yeah, you guys want to describe what you guys do in the morning? So you're just waking up on this dreary, gray Iron Haven morning. It's probably cold with all the stone in the castle. You're in, like, a small tower, really, or this small keep on the eastern side of the city.
Fine. I think Cassy wakes up. They're sharing a room, right?
Yeah.
I think Cassy wakes up and does her best to dress up. I would say she's in a city. She has to an extent been trained to talk to people. And she does have places she wants to go today, so she'll get up and she's being very proper about it. Like, she's not ignoring Lorena if she's awake. Of course, she's, like, acknowledging her, but she's, like, back straight, perfect posture, very elegantly braiding her hair, putting in her ribbons, adjusting her dress, like, just being very...
Well,
almost... She's not necessarily... Okay, it's kind of passive-aggressive. It's a bit passive-aggressive, but very much putting on... her princessness. I know she wouldn't have carried much in her bag, but I assume that she has something that's probably a little bit more formal. For instance, like, I'm actually, as a player, wearing a very long-sleeved gown that isn't, like, court attire, but would definitely be, like, a very nice dress. And I'm, like, I don't remember if we've actually, like, clarified whether or not she has a circlet with her of any kind. I don't know if she would have taken anything like that. But if she does...
I think he'd probably have some jewelry.
Like, there's like a very minor, maybe just the gold circlet, maybe just the necklace, but like puts on her jewelry and has put on this princess. And I think like you might have seen a girl who's been traveling, who's like in name a princess, go into this room, and when she leaves the next morning, she is a princess, and she is her rank. Is Lorena up at all?
Yeah, what are you doing, Lorena? Anything? Just waking up slowly?
Just stuck muted there for a second. I'm like, I'm pretending to meditate.
Amazing.
I love you, Elizabeth.
You can make a perception, Cassandra, if you'd like. Lorena, you can roll as well, but it will be a different roll.
That was an 8.
I got
That
a
was
19.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no chance. She is just kind of sleeping in a weird pose.
Okay, she's definitely there.
She's
I think Cassy
blowing.
is trying to be quiet. She's not being like deliberately banging things or anything like that. She is trying to be quiet, but very quick and brisk as she leaves.
I'm also like trying to hear, though, to see if you're still mad or like we had that chat the evening before.
I think before Cassy leaves, she's assuming you're implying she doesn't know what meditation is, so she assumes she's sleeping. So I think she'd actually write a note, like if there's like a vanity, she would write a note on a scrap of paper, something simple like going out to run some errands, taking Joseph, don't wait up, Cassy, you know. And I wait up is usually. Anyway, she writes a quick note on like a scrap of parchment, and will leave it on her pillow before like quietly slipping out of the room.
Yeah, epic. And yeah, where would you like to head off to? As you can descend down the tower, basically, as you leave kind of the common area beyond the room.
Definitely. I would like to take Joseph with me.
Yeah, he can definitely come with you. He might be in the commons area, just kind of hanging out. So, like, are we off then? Where are we off to?
Yes, I have just some minor errands, if you would not mind accompanying me, Joseph.
Of course. Let me grab my equipment. And he just rummages for his sword behind him and sees that you guys can be off onto the town. Yeah, just down the tower. And do you have the map of Ironhaven? You can kind of check it out as well if you'd like. Or you could just head to the temple if you'd like. If that's your goal.
Believe that here it is. I think you mentioned that the apothecary was closest. Maybe I'm wrong with that.
You mean like just like an herbalist?
Yeah, like she'd been looking for an herbalist. She has this ingredients list that she's been trying to work off of, that she's still wanting to find ingredients for.
Yeah, so there is, and if you click on that map, it's bigger, by the way. See original in Discord, but it does.
Yeah, I'm here.
There is an herbalist right there. You can definitely go there. It's the closest building, essentially, or one of the closest to your tower. So it's on kind of your left, probably, as you're headed out. But yeah, you could head in there. It's early in the morning. Probably not very prepared. There's a tall young elf who stands behind the counter. A young man who's taken off guard as you walk by carrying some packages. It's like, can I help you with anything?
Yes, you can actually. She's going to show him her list. I believe I'm still missing these few here. I believe we have established that she got the Jarson fruit and the Brewwick, I believe. For some reason, I didn't mark them down. I have a list here, and I didn't check them off when I got them from the vendor last week. So I just wanted to double check that I'd gotten them.
I'm pretty sure you got both the fruits you needed.
Yeah, I know the Jarson fruit I know is a fruit. I don't know what the other ones are, if I'm being entirely honest.
Let's see. Yeah, the bottom one is also like a root vegetable. You have the bottom
one I got?
3. Oh, the only thing you're missing, you're right, is the beeson.
Brewwicks. Okay. So she's just gonna quickly show him. I'm looking for some beers and Brewwicks. I'm not sure if you carry something like that, and I might need some advice. Is your master here?
Well, not at the moment, and I'm not sure if we have that. I know we used to have some. Let me check for you. You can go ahead and actually, he'll kind of duck back into the back room, but you can make kind of like a luck check for me if you want, or maybe, just do a luck check.
That's a 13.
That's pretty good.
It's above average.
Yeah. So, yes, he'll come back and let you know that the item is not in stock currently, but I know we do usually have it, so he did check back. Otherwise, if you're looking in a rush, check Faithlands Trading, but in Rondell, not in the city. I know they're out of stock as well. So would be a trip. Otherwise, we should have it in a week or so.
As soon as it's in stock, would you mind sending me, not a large amount, simply a serving, if you will, to this address? And she's going to write down the address of the place that they're staying.
Certainly, my lady.
Please leave it under Cassandra, if you will. Thank you.
Certainly, I'll make
And
a
she's,
note.
I don't have very much gold left. I think she's going to slide 2 gold his direction, to just kind of pay for it and the delivery.
Did you spend any of your gold?
Oh, yes, I had 10 to start. I now have 7 gold.
Oh, you spent like 1 gold for those.
I spent 3 total, but yes, I've spent some gold.
Okay. That sounds good, though. Yeah, I mean, he will definitely be like, oh my, well, thank you, my lady. Anything else I could do for you?
No, that'll be all. Simply that package as soon as you're able. And the sooner it's there, possibly the more it might be in for you.
Definitely. I'll see if I can pull some strings.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And she's going to, like, straight walk out of the apothecary and head towards the temple.
All right, awesome. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, it's a pretty cold morning, as I might have mentioned. But, yeah, there's definitely the autumn leaves and the pears through the town as you make your way over to this grand sort of gray cathedral that is attached really to this larger castle behind it. And there's kind of a common entry, it would seem, near the town square, kind of past the like the well and a couple other shops and the markets which you saw previously. So yeah, you can definitely enter in there.
Let's see. Oh no, my notes are gone. I actually took notes for once. This might be due to them being all on sticky notes.
You can certainly walk in there. There is just kind of a humble elf who will welcome you in the doors.
I'm just not remembering if someone was wanting to see me or if there was someone in particular I was looking for. That's what I would have written down.
I believe Elrond just told you to go check out the church if you wanted to learn magic. So, yeah, you can definitely walk in there. Let's see. But yeah, there's just an elf who welcomes you and kind of says, welcome to the Church of the Wood. Is there anything we could do for you, ma'am?
Yes, I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with the city, but I am looking for a teacher of magics.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place. Do you have magical powers already?
Yes, I have some proficiency, though not as much as I would seek, hence my presence here.
Very well. Well, I shall call a couple other of the assessment teachers present, and we shall have a short exam presently. May I take your name, ma'am?
Cassandra.
All right, and he scribbles down on his notepad, and he says, wait here, please, to you two, and kind of bows to you and walks out. You're in kind of this small entryway with some columns and just kind of a small table near the front where the man was standing. There's maybe a couple other priests who are shuffling through in like red and white robes, similarly, and you guys await for his return. Let's see.
I think that, like, Cassandra is very much putting on an air right now, trying to kind of not necessarily push her rank around, but is drawing on her years of experience here. But I think, I don't imagine passerbys would catch it, but she glances to Joseph, and I think, like, as she glances over, you can just kind of see how uncomfortable and fearful she is. She has walked into an establishment full of elves and asked about magic, which goes against everything that she was raised to do. And on the outside, she appears confident and nothing but regal, but she glances at Joseph, and there's just this moment of just panic. Complete panic.
Nice. Epic. Well, we'll definitely hop over here to Lorena and see what you want to get up to in the morning after you have the room to yourself.
So, like as soon as Cassy shuts the door, I grab the note and read it because I am not really meditating. I'm like faking. And I fold it up and put it in my little bow case, I guess, like with the arrows in the quiver. The quiver. And obviously. And I'm gonna go down and see who's in kind of the cafeteria area and get more food.
Okay. So, yeah, you can go down kind of, you've kind of just got a small common rooms in your tower. You can hop over to kind of the keep, which is also partially attached. You could make your way kind of across the bridge towards the keep and then go down into kind of Elrond's kitchen, see what's up there. It seems very reasonable, probably, totally chill for you to do such a thing. And, there's a couple servants who rummage throughout with plates of food sent off to greet a lord probably in the early morning. And, yeah, you can definitely check out what they're brewing down there. Some stews and breads baking and some great smells going on. And, you can really just kind of have your pick here of some fancy food if you'd like.
Yes, I will have 3 quail eggs. Do they have those? I want those.
I mean, honestly, yeah, they do.
Okay, I will have 3 of those, and I'm gonna put 2 in my pocket, assuming they're like either pickled or hard-boiled.
Yeah, you can have your pick.
Okay, well, 2 of each then, because it's me. And then I'm also gonna take bread, and I'm just gonna eat it while I'm walking. I'm just like gonna leave after I've eaten those eggs. And I'm gonna walk towards Poison Lake.
You're gonna head out of the place and go to Poison Lake.
I think. Let me look.
Well, I mean, you have to leave the city to get out of there, or you could just head south if that's what you mean. Otherwise, though, I do have a little bit of a fancy adventure kind of planned for you, so I might throw that at you as you try to leave.
Okay.
But there is definitely one thing as you make your way out. Let's see here. Give me 5 minutes.
I mean, honestly, I'm just walking around eating bread, so.
So, actually, yeah, you're just munching on some bread. It's delicious, and I'm just finding my notes. Okay, yeah. Well, here's your plot hook for your little mini adventure here, Lorena. So you hear a shriek, I would say, from the hallway beyond where you're munching on your bread. And should you investigate this muffled shriek that seems to have called out, piercing the stone walls?
Yes, I will stealthily walk towards it.
I think as you peek down the hallway, the first thing you see is actually this guard who's standing with his back to you and looking down the hallway. But where Elrond stands, the kindly elf hunched over near this figure who is on the floor. And you see a bit of blood there on the figure as well. It seems that they are dead, and Elrond is kind of sobbing there quietly, like, "Oh, what has happened? Send help!" He looks over down towards you two, Lorna and the guard, and he says, "Help quickly! Dalsteron, he's been murdered."
All right, I'll come check it out, though I don't know what help I'll be since he's murdered. And I'll walk over.
I think he's dead. What's this blood? He seems intact. If you investigate, the body does look intact, but he's definitely unconscious or dead. Elrond says, I found him here, collapsed in the hallway, just near the latrine here. There's like a doorway to a small aisle beyond, and this is just kind of part of the tower wall where you're attached to this keep. But what do you want to do?
Does it look like it's his blood, or does it look like it's somebody else's blood on him? Has there been a struggle?
So, if you look at it, there's only a little bit of blood actually, and it comes from a place on this elfin body that's lying limply here. It is a small cut, like on his wrist, which is kind of like 5 lines that come together, like a star, or kind of like a human or something. It's like, doesn't look like potentially that's what killed them. It looks almost just like they got this cut recently, though.
It looks like a design or something?
Yeah, it's like a design. It's like almost like a 5-pointed star, but just like 5 lines.
Do I recognize this symbol or not really? It's just kind of weird.
You can make a investigation check, or kind of like a arcana, like a history
it's a
check.
19 again.
19. So you don't necessarily recognize it. It's not from the church or the cult. It might be something human, or it might actually be, now that you think about it, something to do with like an assassin, like a rogue kind of, thieves guild type of thing. It might just be, some like a signature of a killer, perhaps.
Okay.
But you've never seen it before, specifically.
And who is this guy?
The dead guy. Elrond is weeping here. Dosseron was my good servant. He was a chef and a brewer. He was a good man. He kind of stands up and motions to his servants. Sorry, what's that?
I'm going to ask Elrond, do you know any reason why someone would want to kill him?
No. He is a humble servant. I would know of no reason why. What could have happened? Were you into something? But Elrond is also quite distraught, and he continues to sob. But yeah, what else would you like to do?
I want to search the latrine for someone.
Yeah,
I basically want to see if I can find someone there.
You can go into the latrine. There's just like a couple of like little seats in there, and there's kind of just like a jetty that juts out from the tower, kind of. There's no one in there. There's like some engravings, some fabric curtains, and just like some wooden areas to sit, essentially. But you do find a note in here, and snatching it up, it does say it's from someone called Aeon. It says Lady of Gris. The note itself just says, "Come visit tonight. Darion is away."
What? What's the first line?
So the note itself says, "Come visit tonight. Darion is away." And it's signed by Aeon, Lady of Gris.
Okay. I'm torn. I'm like, I really want to take this note, but I also want to leave the note in case it's put specifically there for someone. So I kind of stand there for like a long while, just kind of like pondering. but
You can roll kind of a investigation check if you'd like.
Okay. It's an 8.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
I'm taking it. Gonna put it with my other note.
Okay, cool. Yeah, any other plans to investigate these strange happenings?
I need to look at the map really quick.
Certainly. Of course, as you come out, Elrond will say, I'm glad you're here, Lorena. You're one of my best private investigators, of course. I put this matter in your hands for the moment. What's that?
For how much?
Oh. Of course, if you can solve this mystery, you'll be paid handsomely, my lady.
And with that, I will just simply do this kind of a gesture, like wave, but I'm like walking away from him. I want to go to Grist Tavern.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely head out to Grist Tavern. As you do make your way out to Grist, I will go ahead and pop it back over to Cassy. Let's see. So really what's going on with you at the church is you're going to have your assessment, actually. So yeah, there's the same kind of greeter, kind of this priest, this elf of the church who came back with a couple other who look a bit more higher rank, perhaps. They've got their additions to their robe, their scarves and whatnot. All of them are elves, however, and one of them is a lady. These two that come are both higher rank, it would seem, a priest and priestess, perhaps, of the word. And he says, please perform some magic for us. We shall have a placement test, and we would be happy to train you, although there is an entry fee, but regardless, please show us what you can perform.
Here in the hall, sir.
Well, we can go where you are required to cast your spell.
Oh, I can certainly.
Otherwise, here.
Very well, and I think she's gonna kind of like put her hands out and cast dancing lights, and just some very simple like baseball-sized orbs, kind of floating, spinning in a circle above her hands. That burns a spell slot.
It does.
D&D magic systems. So.
Go ahead and make a just like a performance check for me as well.
That can't be like nope.
And your spell obviously goes off, and it's a success.
You can't say that that's like an intelligence-based check because it's magic and like how well I'm performing my magic specifically.
No, I assume your magic is fine. Just kind of wanted that performance
8.
As well.
That's an 8.
That's fine. Really, I would say that doesn't change the outcome much. So, really, what happens is, the main guy is quite impressed. Probably the other man, the other elf, the higher ranked elf male, would be quite impressed as well. The lady was maybe skeptical. Regardless, though, they kind of come to a little huddle and say that you shall be admitted to train, of course, and they shall find a priestess who shall be able to instruct you. At your earliest convenience, perhaps an hour's delay or so. Would you like to meet them today?
Yes, if they are available. I know of no other thing that might take my time today.
Very well. Then please stay here with Vassalin, and we shall return for you shortly. And the other higher-ranked priests kind of walk out, the priestess, and you wait there, and eventually you do get seated with an instructor who will give you some of the basics. And the first thing they will do is kind of greet you and give you some robes, which you'll be able to wear, which are white and red, which match the church. And so, yeah, she'll expect you to don them, and she'll say, come back. There's a little changing curtain or what have you. And yeah, I don't know. Probably as well. Joseph would be permitted to kind of hang around, but perhaps would hang outside the door during your lessons. If this is no issue with either of you.
No, not at all, of course. I actually have a question about Cassie. I don't think we've discussed her relationship with the church at all. I actually don't know how much. Like, I know that the word is something that like she's familiar with. It's a phrase that I know is in her vernacular. I'm not sure how much more of maybe there wasn't an established church of the 6th, 7th word like I'm seeing in other places. She certainly did not have that level of complication. What would be her experience with the church in the past, or at least her knowledge of it?
I think your knowledge is quite on point there. If you'd like to maybe consult with Joseph, honestly, he will probably console with you or agree with you that the church here is a bit strange. Not sure what this 6th word means, but I assume it's the word. I don't know. That's probably your human understanding for now.
Backwoods Chapel might have sung a hymn or two at one point, never actually been to church.
I mean, as far as your history with your church at home in Farleon, you have at least your notes. I gave you some information about you've got a creation story. As far as the word itself, yes. Kind of what you said, there is the word. That's basically like God. And let's see.
Yeah, I have the creation story, so I'm assuming there were some the equivalent of passages of scripture that she'd be passingly familiar with, but never really introduced to larger forms of organized religion beyond maybe a priest or traveling preacher kind of thing. Okay.
So it's kind of assumed that you are faithful to the word.
Of course.
It's never gotten too intense beyond that. So that's kind of what I would say. Not too intense in knowledge, although I will allow you to make kind of history religion check if you'd like, and maybe gain some additional insight about your human religion. What's that?
That's a 6. We are not rolling good today.
Let's see here. Let me. Okay, so I'll tell you this much at least. You're familiar at least with perhaps one other reference of scripture, which kind of links your religion and your, church of the word to this resounding existence, which is somewhat called am, like the word am. So it's like the creation word. It's not exactly the word itself. Is not just a word, but it's sort of the same thing as well. So it's always confusing, but you definitely know the word am is a thing in your religion. So where you come from, and other than that though, you want to just put on your robes and go back to the girl, or anything else?
Yes. Just me wanting to clarify. She puts on the robes.
Good.
I imagine she looks fantastic. She's a princess. She never looked a hair out of place with this girl.
Okay, awesome. I imagine you're just having these deep thoughts as you put on your robe, really. You remember Joseph saying all that. But your robes definitely do grant you a little bit of a bonus here. So you're going to get +1 level 0 spells.
Oh, heck yeah. Here, let's actually write this down.
But the teacher you have here, which is a lady priest, an elfin lady of the word, she will say to you, this spell slot, of course, will not function until you I assume we'll need to denounce the word or the churches you have known before. You will have to, pledge yourself to the Church of the Sixth Word and the word itself, which is also is. The word is. It's the word of creation, really. And it allows magic. And if you wish to learn here, hopefully you can do this.
I of course wish to learn here. I'm afraid I was not honored enough to have grown up in a place where I was exposed more to your beautiful churches and cathedrals. I am unfamiliar with the differences between these numbers of the word. The way I grew up was that the word is, and there is nothing more.
Oh, very good. Well, then it should not be hard for you. There are many sects and many words which grant magic, but here we do focus on the sixth word. It is just the basis of our knowledge as well as religion. Of course, this word represents Irvathu himself, the creator of all life and the world. Of course, take all the time you need and think this over. I will wait here for you. I can help you when you're ready. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Cassie's probably just going to continue. Player Audrey's head is trying not to meta this. I am intrigued. I don't think Cassy is. I think Cassy will actually stop her before she leaves the room. I'm so sorry. I need no time to think. I appreciate you answering my question. I am ready to pledge myself, of course. I wish to learn magic here.
All right. In my experience, when we do train with humans, you may... Well, where are you from? Are you from Far Leon?
That I am.
You may need to denounce either the first or second word before you can pledge yourself to the sixth word. Otherwise, you could attempt the pledge and see if you're granted the spell slot of our rogues. I assume you'll have to denounce, however.
Do I know what word? Are we talking about a sentence here? Like, is there a different word, like actual words here? Because that is amazing. But also, would she know? Would she know what word?
You don't know.
Okay.
It's just there's a little bit of mumbo jumbo for sure.
Yeah.
You're like,
I don't think Cassie's never really thought about religion. It's just something that's there that happens to her. Of course. I will denounce whatever I need to learn this craft.
Very well. Simply, we shall perform a ritual. Are you familiar with a ritual?
Not in the slightest. I'm afraid that where I come from, magic is not looked upon in a good light.
Very well. Well, I've heard you can cast dancing lights. A ritual would allow you to... You are quite gifted. You can cast a spell, but it does take some time to set up. At least, I would say, 10 minutes. You get some candles, and you say a few words to anoint the space. Any other materials required for the spell are required and will be consumed in the ritual. And like I said, it takes some time, but really any spell can be cast in ritual form. And we can also perform this ritual to align you with the word. So he'll begin lighting some candles, probably in like a 5-pointed star. And you guys he'll actually tell you, please say a few words in dedication denounce the first and second word to be thorough, and then pledge yourself to this Church of the Sixth Word and earth it.
I, Cassandra of Riversdale, do denounce both the first and second word and pledge myself here to the sixth in the pursuit of magic and knowledge. Lorena, stop doing that. You're scaring me.
Oh yeah, the fires kind of flare up around the candles, and he said, I think it works. Perhaps you could try, well, if you are running low on your magical energies, choose a spell and we shall study and see what we can learn. So I do have some spells that they would have available for you here. I'll go ahead and find.
Very glad, because otherwise I'm opening the PHB and just from scratch. Like, I didn't have anything in mind.
Yeah, I was gonna have a couple options here.
Take your time. As a player, I'm existential horror looking at Lorena's face right now. What?
Okay, so for now, I'll grant you these two books I have on hand: Fog, Cloud, and Mage Armor. Would you like to study either of these, catching your eye for today?
I presume that one is of concealment and one of defense?
Certainly. Very apt.
Concealment might serve me better for now.
All right. Let me dust off this manuscript. Blows a big puff of, dust into the air. It pops open this fog cloud. And let's see here. Really what's going to happen is I'll have you make a couple checks real quick for me here. But yeah, make like kind of an intelligence check as you begin poring over this.
Oh, heck yes. It's an 18.
Nice. Let's see here. So, definitely are succeeding. And so, let me see. So, 20-foot area, we might find a larger room to practice this. You want to go out into the garden?
Of course. Simply make sure that my servant, Joseph, can follow us.
Oh, very well. Of course. This should be able to stay much closer with us if we leave. And you guys can head out through the chapel. You're just in a room, really just maybe on the second floor, up a short staircase. And you guys head shortly out into the garden area. There's actually a garden more privately, probably behind, kind of north of the area you entered. And yeah, you guys can start practicing there. For now, you're just kind of studying. So go ahead and make another check, though, as some time passes and you want to start actually attempting the spell.
Okay. I think as they're studying, Cassy would have some questions for her. That's a 14.
What were your questions?
Forgive me if these are uncouth at all. I simply am curious and new to this art. Is there a way for people to reach out to you through magic in perhaps a more sinister way?
Reach out. You mean like divination practices, perhaps, to reach for knowledge? I'm not sure.
More perhaps of someone dropping ink into a glass of water. A seeming darkening or corrupting the more it's used.
I fear that magic does have the temptation, the tendency towards corruptible endeavors and corrupting of peoples, especially humans. I would add, you should keep a sternness towards what is light and righteous.
Of course, I have no desire for dark, though power does corrupt in all its forms. I am fearful of some person directly seeming to have reached out, and You are perhaps the first person I have spoken to that might know anything of it.
Well, I will tell you that um, although my knowledge is not the most impressive of all the priests and priestesses of the church here, there are also many other kingdoms of elves who are even older than those we know, and they may have great powers far beyond my comprehension. But um, uh, I do think what you're saying is quite reasonable, quite likely. Perhaps there are dark mages who tempt with you. Um, I think you almost had that fog spell, though. Perhaps give it another try.
Right back onto it.
Yeah, you can roll your intelligence again. You, yeah.
Yes. It's a 19.
Yeah, with that, you can definitely describe how you can kind of well up this fog cloud, maybe a little bit smaller than its full potential, but quite impressive nonetheless that you have really learned the spell in at least perhaps a day, which would probably be the minimum time frame a day to learn a spell. So maybe tomorrow you can learn again. But you want to describe this magnificent feat?
Oh yes, I imagine Cassandra kind of like her hands very like low, like she's not actually like reaching out. Her hands are very low, and she just kind of like curls her fingers upwards as she kind of chants what this incantation that she's learned. And at first, nothing appears to happen, and then just the ground starts to turn white as fog just seems to, regardless of the material, just seep from the ground. And at first, it's very gradual, and then blooms upwards, and of course not reaching its entire full potential, but what was at first like a little bit of fog that you might like walk past and see, it becomes completely impenetrable in a matter of seconds.
Nice. And I should add also, you kind of have a ritual set up with candles as well.
Okay.
So to cast this one, it's not going to consume your spell slot. I think you have one left now with your robes that are granting you.
I have me down for 2, a 0 and a 1, plus the 0 from my robes is what I have down.
I think you're at a level 1 slot, but you can have 2 level 0. But this doesn't consume one regardless. Regardless, your teacher's impressed with you. You were using a ritual setup. There were some components that were used, but you've done quite well for today. He'll let you take the day off, but you may talk to the clerk, and there is a fee that you should start to pay off here. How much can you pay today?
What is the full fee, if you don't mind me asking? So I might pay you in full.
So to train as a beginner acolyte here, which of course you do earn the title of acolyte of the 6th word, it is 10 gold.
I'm afraid I only have 5 on my person at the moment. Perhaps I might keep one with me for emergencies, and I can pay you 4 for now.
Certainly. And we shall accept future payments when you return. Have a lovely day.
You as well. And one question, sir. Might I ask, how often are there beginners in magic around here? How prevalent would the magic users of the area be?
Beginners. Not highly prevalent. Many talented youth are chosen and brought to churches of the word or monasteries throughout the Or Union. But skills such as yours are rare. I have heard from the others you are quite talented, especially for a human. Many can cast with rituals. To learn or to begin, often spells without components, well, like you were able to cast. Quite impressive.
I imagine she like starts glowing at his praise, and when he says like 4 humans, like her face hardens, like she's still smiling, like glowing, and then just like her face freezes in that position when he says that. Just
Quite impressive. I think you'll go far. But yeah, you're definitely able to, head out of the church. We'll hop back over to Lorena here, um, and see what's going on with this great mystery of this murder. Um, so let's see, where did we leave off?
So
Got
I'm
some
going with
eggs.
my bread to the tavern, Grist Tavern.
Oh, you headed off to Chris Tavern, that's right.
I'm like talking while I chew the bread, like looking at the note. I'm like, okay, so this says Lady of Grist. This says Grist Tavern.
Okay, yeah, definitely. You can head into the tavern. There's a couple folks about, like humans, who are enjoying a drink, and inside there is a lady elf who is the kind of the barkeep, it would seem, the only real maid about, um, who welcomes you and says, "Ah, hello, dear. Anything I can do for you?"
Yes, I'd like your name and an ale.
Of course. And she goes back and grabs an ale and brings it out to you, froths it down right on the table for you there. Just froths it because she sets it, and the froth goes about. But she says, "Thank you, my dear. It's Aeon. What's your name?"
It,
Wait a minute. What's that?
don't you find it impolite to ask a customer?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Then, no matter. You said your name is Aeon?
That's correct. Yes.
I'm gonna turn like slightly away from her and just like drink the ale and kind of think about this. Because I'm like doing better than I imagined I would. In my head, I like pull the note out. I'm like, it's barely breakfast time. Because I want to think about what I want to say because I have that note that she presumably wrote, right? I don't know if I want to show it to her or not. So who else do I see in there? I see there's the bartender lady, and then there's just tables with humans.
Yeah, there's a couple humans, a couple different parties, but it's not bustling. It's still kind of early in the prior noon. You have maybe a group of a couple individuals, and then maybe one or two individuals who set off kind of alone. But yeah, they're all humans, mostly men. There's maybe like a group of containing like a lady who is an elf, and they're seeming to have a meeting. Perhaps they're talking about something.
Okay. Then, upon sort of, I've had some ale now, I see that they're sort of just doing their own thing, the people at the other tables. I'm going to turn to her and I'm going to say, I think I have something of yours.
What's that, dear? She'll lean over to you.
And I'll just put the note on the table, but like my hand's covering it, but she can see her own signature on the note. I'm assuming it's hers.
She'll definitely blush upon seeing it and be like, "Oh, how did you get that?"
And I will simply say I was exploring the latrine. And I found it.
The train. Oh no. I suppose my friend Dosseron must have left it behind. I'm sorry about that, ma'am. I I will take it if you don't mind.
I do mind because he's dead.
And she, is kind of aghast. She's like, "Oh no, what you mean, Dosseron?" Well, what can you mean?
He has died. That is what I mean. What does this note mean?
How has this happened?
Well, I'm not very medically inclined. I'm not sure how it's happened.
Where is he? She'll kind of actually just dash out of the tavern, as it were, and out of the room.
Can I catch up to her? I'm
You
gonna
can.
call after her. I'll take you to his body.
And she'll say, "Please, then," and turn around to the doorway. Say, "Take me there. I assume he's at Elrond's tower." And she
Creepy.
starts walking out.
Okay, I will go there with her, but I'll ask her again. What can you tell me about this note?
Well, I thought it was obvious. It's just a note that I sent to Dosteron. I wanted to meet with him tonight.
Is it an affair? Who's Darian?
You can make kind of like a check to see how your persuasion goes.
Okay, it's an 11.
So she would say something of the sort, I suppose. And you guys are dashing through the town. It doesn't take you too long to get over to the towers, and she'll say, "This way, then." And I assume you will lead her up the best way, and you can actually see the body. At this point, honestly, they probably just covered it with like a sheet, and she would be able to go over there and have a look. And there's some guards around, though. She might have to muscle her way through, and they're all busy chatting. And Elrond might be on perhaps the other side of the hallway. So there's a couple guards where you're standing, and you can kind of lean over and see she's investigating, and she's sobbing over there with the body. So anything you'd like to do?
I would like to go talk to Elrond and see if he knows this lady. She was not helpful. She did not tell me about Darian, or whatever his name. So I'm going to go talk to Elrond and say, well, I feel I'm on the right track. I've brought and gestures to her crying. And she seems to be connected in some way. Do you know anything of her?
Well, thank you for your work on this matter. Of course, I am familiar with this lady. She, I believe, is the barmaid at Aeon, her name? Yes. Why does she weep so? Her friend, I suppose, Dosteron, has passed. Well, have you found anything about the killer then?
Possibly? I'm working on it still. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'll show him the note.
I'll say, it's very curious indeed. I will tell you, Daron is Aeon's husband. They own the tavern. Very concerning. Thank you for looking into this matter. Is there anything I can do for you?
I feel it would be in our best interests to question the husband, Daron, in this and see perhaps he's killed his wife's lover.
Of course. I'll leave it to you. I could arrange a note of authority for you, and he'll scribble one down for you actually and give it to you. So if there's any doubt, you can just say like, Elrond's orders. I need to talk to Daron. That's what the note basically says. So you've got that.
Cool.
And, go ahead and make an investigation check for me while you're here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's an 8.
Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, I will say you do notice there is actually a very thin, very faint trail of blood. Like one drop of blood, and then like maybe like 2, 3 feet later, very small drop of blood. It goes down the hallway from where the body is. So just like a couple drops. Pretty easy to miss. And it goes out the hallway. But you're able to notice it fairly easily since you're, doing some investigation work and you're just so perceptive. But, it's pretty confusing still. Just a couple drops. It leads towards a window and the body. That's about all you can make of it.
I'm gonna go look out the window.
Yeah, you see it is a cold day. The clouds are gray. You can see part of Iron Haven down below, kind of the outer Bailey to the south. And you can see kind of the hills, the way that leads towards Rondell. But the stone walls go kind of straight down below the window for quite a ways. It would be a difficult climb. It's a small window as well. So you can't imagine you could try to climb down. Like you think you'd be pretty skilled. You might be able to do it, but a normal human would not be able to. And that's about it. There's nothing out there.
Okay. And Daron owns the bar as well, so he's probably there or something?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look for him with my fancy note that says, I can talk to you about this murder.
Okay, yeah. So, if you ask around back at the tavern, some of the folk, since there's no barmaid, they're probably quite upset. Oh, where's all the beer? And they'll tell you, no, Daron's not here. I'm not sure where he's at. Not here today. Haven't seen him. And, if you were to, look around, there's no other humans in, like, the back of the shop, so he's not here.
I will give them free beer if they can give me his address.
Hey! He lives here! Ha Give us beer! Ha
I just, I'm assuming he has one of those, counter things. I'm just gonna, wrench it off and say, have at it.
Yes! And they all get their flagons and they start filling up as this barrel just, explodes and, the ale starts pouring all over. And they're just, lapping it up off the tables and floors and they're just going mad. There's more people that are coming off the streets to check out the noise. And, some folk join in. Mostly humans who like to indulge in the drink, really. But some of the elves do come in and have a drink. Some of the, more strange elves, perhaps. Getting their strange hits off on the alcoholics. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, I'm actually gonna kind of use this as cover to go to his house. His bar is now demolished. I'm gonna go tell him about that so that he can leave and I can search his house.
Oh yeah, so honestly, his house is kind of just attached to the back of the shop. You can check that out and go through his stuff. There's actually nobody there, but you can. Perhaps find some of his things. Make kind of an investigation check as you rummage through. He's not a wealthy man. He's just got some humble clothes. Seems probably most of his wealth is in the tavern itself. What's that?
Oh, I just, was feeling the crippling guilt of ruining that for him. But I rolled an 18, so what cool stuff does he have? Or suspicious items?
With that kind of knowledge, I would say you definitely get the vibe that he's packed up. He went on a trip somewhere, and he's missing his room's a little scarce. Imagine he'd have more clothes and bags and stuff, other trinkets. So he might have gone somewhere for a couple days or something, or longer trip. He's perhaps in a neighboring town. As far as cool trinkets you can steal. You can definitely find a couple gold in there. I'll give you 3 gold.
Excellent. Okay.
Nothing else really too interesting.
And I'm assuming Aeon is still crying. Or at
Yeah,
the
she's probably
place.
back at Elrond's.
I'm gonna
short.
go ask her where he went because she said she knew he'd be away.
Yeah, you can ask her. She will tell you that he would have gone to meet with the Faithland Trading Company in Rondell.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna head out that way then. I felt like I need to go see him after this commotion. Tell him about his bar, his wife.
Okay, epic. Yeah, you can head out that way. Honestly, you don't even need to do a long rest, Lorena. So you don't have too much concern leaving the walls, but you could rent a carriage. You know
There's
that
been a
Elrond
murder.
has. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Concern.
well, yeah. I mean, just in regard to you needing to have a short or a long rest, you've got full HP, I believe. So you're good to go. You got all your abilities and stuff in that regard. So as far as you're concerned, though, you can definitely like hire people. You can hire a carriage. You could do whatever you'd like, or you could walk out there alone with nothing but your wee shorts on.
That sounds good. Sounds faster and more discreet for me. Rondell's not that far, right?
Yeah, that's true. You can get there in a day.
I guess we'll just take one of the horses from the carriage that we already had and go.
All right, epic.
I got my quail eggs. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, you'll be off then to Rondell, and really, that is probably going to take up the rest of the evening. It's later in the evening when you arrive, and you'll be getting to the chapel, the inn. It's also a bit of a tavern. It's the predominant feature of Rondell, and we'll hop back over though to Cassy. I mean, you finished your training for today. You'd probably anything else you wanted to do before you head. What's that?
Is Skeller at this one?
Skeller's actually in Jordan. He's the innkeep over there. At Rondell, it's there's that chef guy who's like got the jobs for you. Flashback with the powder you delivered to Lonrail docks, and you also need to make a delivery over to Jordan, actually, to the Lord. But you can definitely go see Triton, the Horned Trickster.
I'm just gonna have dinner with him. That's all before I go to bed. We're tight.
With Triton, yeah, definitely. That sounds good. Anyway, though, we'll see also what Cassy did with the rest of her night.
I don't after her magic lessons and she's kind of just been dismissed. I imagine that she would probably go back to their quarters. And seeing Lorena gone, try not to worry, but she is deeply worried. Where is she? I mean, this is the time we don't got cell phones. Where is everybody? But trying not to worry about it. And she's going to try and seek out a library. If there's somebody in charge, she can ask to find a library in their living quarters or a local library, or maybe the church is all they have.
The church is going to be your best bet. They'll direct you back there. You can you can go there and have access to some libraries though, and you can look through some books and stuff for sure.
Okay, so walking back and forth, kind of have lunch with Joseph on the street as they're walking back and forth between these places because she's stupid. And she's going to do.
Problem, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for bearing with me. Of course, feel free. Have a seat. Do whatever you want in the library. I feel so sorry. You don't need to stand in the hall all day.
It's fine. I think I finally understand our quest. You've come out to study magic, and you've already learned a spell.
Yes, I am feeling quite accomplished for the day, though I am very uncertain of the word and what I have possibly gotten myself into. Back home, I'm afraid that I didn't pay much attention in religious studies. It wasn't really a part of my education so much. And I feel as though perhaps denouncing some form of word and attaching myself to another may not have necessarily been an ill-advised move, but perhaps I have gone a little bit deeper than I had first intended. And if you know anything, please tell me, but I'm going to do as much research as I can. I am very unfamiliar with these lands, and I'm afraid all of my training has not prepared me for this.
I'm not sure about announcing the word. Heresy, perhaps, could be a crime to be punished. I fear you have little to worry about, though, Princess. I know as well, back in Farleon, there was a couple of sects of the word, you might say, as they called it the first word, and there was a second word. And there were others, less prominent religions, of course, such as the Druid folk. Not sure about all the words myself, what it means. I imagine the word himself is one. What's that?
Oh no, my simple understanding, and like I said, my education was not in this direction. My understanding that the word was one, and all is the word. These different sects seem, are they speaking of other words, or they, in order to join this sixth order, I must denounce the others? Do they believe them to be completely untrue? Are these completely separate churches that abhor each other? They all worship the word, right?
I'm not sure about any but the first and the second, I would say, but it is not abhorred, no. They are both, although Farleon is an expensive land, there are some differences. I'm not familiar with them all, but I know there is a great agreement as well.
Well, I will do what research I can then. I want to understand what I have gotten myself into. And she's going to spend the rest of the day in the library, and I want as much information as any role you will give me gives me. She is, has this sense of looming, like she really threw herself into it. She doesn't really care at first. She just wants this magic. And now that she has that magic with this first spell, she's like walking around in these robes, and she's kind of thinking back to her childhood and what she grew up with, and she's like, really wants to know whether or not like she's committing a heresy or like what's going on and what she's gotten herself into, really. Maybe not with the amount of looming fear that I as a player have, but definitely with a sense of urgency.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you'll definitely be able to go to, the library of the Sixth Word Chapel there and rent out basically the heaviest Bible of the Sixth Word that you can lug on back to your tower, and you can take that for a couple days. Bring it back. Try to charge you, but other than that, it should be just part of your tuition. Of course, you get your library. You've got like a notepad really that they put out for you. It's like exactly a library card, but more hefty, much more thick of paper. But it's like a scroll. It's like a decree of your permission. But anyway, yeah, you can take that home and do some research. Give me a roll. Do some religion history knowledge, and I'll see how much you're able to unravel. Probably going to be pretty difficult to figure out the grand mysteries of the many vast religions, but you have a little bit of an insight to at least 2 or 3 of them. So
how many rolls do you want?
So just make 1 religion roll for me.
Gosh darn it, that's a 6 then.
Okay. Yeah, you really dive into it. There's stories of creation. From what you remember, it's a little different. Actually, maybe completely different. But similar themes, similar like like there's creation, there's such and such. But you spend the night poring over it. From there, I guess we'll actually hop over back to Lorena. What was going to happen with you was, you wanted to have dinner with Triton, the chef, which he would have prepared some lovely stew for you. You probably like the veggies, right? So I got vegetable stew here with broccoli. It's delightful. Got some fresh turnips as well. And, you guys can chat about whatever you'd like. You say, need some extra jobs, Lorna? Are you all busy?
A little busy at the moment. You wouldn't happen to have seen anybody named Daron come through here?
Oh, Daron. Yeah, actually, he was headed up. He stopped by for some grub, and went. I think he's headed to the Faithland. There's a stock room they have just on the other side of town, and he can point it out to you if you'd like. It's over near where you guys fought that giant. Building that was on fire is just kind of just further than this building, which is almost on the other side of town. Right next to it. It's actually kind of far away, like at least 60 feet. There's like some farmlands between. But he points it out to you. So they should be there. Maybe they'll come back here. I think they're having a business meeting.
Does he have a room here?
Not as of yet. He just paid for the food, but if he comes back, he paid for the room as well. So maybe, I guess you could say that. Gave me a gold.
Seem when he was here?
How did he seem? I'm not sure. Let me think. Go ahead and roll for me, Lorna, as well. Just kind of a investigation check. See what this guy remembers. How about?
It's a 13 for me.
In a couple ways. Amazing. So he will say, kind of seemed as per usual, I'd say. Might have been up to some errands, perhaps, with the I don't know, the guild, you could say. What information you trying to get?
Well, his wife's cheating on him, and I've come to tell him.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I then. I suppose he should. I bet he'll be back. I'd like to see this. Ian, wait with me.
I would love to tell him over this stew.
Oh dear God. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to do while you guys wait and eat?
I guess I'd like to just go check this place out and walk around the perimeter if I can. I ain't trying to start anything this late at night.
Walk around the perimeter? Okay.
I just want to look at it and see, can I look in the windows? Can I see him? He obviously doesn't know me, so I don't have to be, too careful, but I don't want him to see me,
Yeah, you can keep watching. It's getting dark. There's townsfolk shuffling around, farming, cleaning up generally for getting ready, for winter, stacking logs, cutting logs, that kind of thing. You don't see necessarily anyone headed to the inn for a while. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
In 11.
Okay, yeah. So eventually you do see a pair of elven gentlemen who are walking this way. You assume one would be this Daron. What are you going to do?
I think I will also head back to the inn, behind them a little ways.
Gonna go get ready there? Triton's like, what's going on? Are they coming?
I think so.
All right, then. He has a couple of beers that he starts pouring to have ready or something. And eventually...
I want to ask him if I can pretend to be the barmaid for them.
Oh, dear goodness. Well, make a persuasion check.
Come on, Triton. It's a natural 10.
Triton, he says, yeah, I'd allow that. For you, of course, Lorna. And, of course, if you ever need any extra information, You can always talk with me, but I'll just wait in the back room and listen then. Or I can hide over here at this table behind the door. Yeah, I'll sit here and watch. Here he goes over and sits there. And yeah, eventually the doors do get kicked open, essentially. These two elves walk in there. Like, couple of beers, please.
Now that's no way to talk to a lady. I'll be happy to bring the beers when you say please.
Now, what the? Please, then.
Right away. And I'm like doing totally a fake girly voice,
Who's
and I'll walk
this,
over to them
maid?
and just like set them down all nicely. And then I'll actually sit at their table with them.
Okay. So, yeah, they're kind of like, well, hey, nice to meet you there. What's your deal tonight?
We don't get much business at this inn. It's an odd time for you to come in. I wondered how your day's been.
It's been a long day. Just looking to relax here. Thanks for the ales, of course. Anything else I could do for you?
Do you need a room for the night?
Yes, we would like a room.
One or two?
Actually, 2 rooms, please. And the other elf say, actually, I'm okay. I don't need a room. And that, I'll just go back to my house later. I'm just having an ale with my friend here.
Why not stay? You don't want to travel after you've had ales.
Make a persuasion check.
No
Then
drunk
maybe.
horse carriaging.
Just gonna walk.
It's a 16. Stay the night.
All right, you've convinced me. I would love to
Excellent
stay in one of your
choice.
rooms.
Perfect.
My bed is near, but your smile is so lovely.
Oh, stop. I'll go get the keys. And I'm going to go walk back over to Triton and tell him. Because I don't have the keys because I don't work there.
They'll pass you the keys. You're like, when's it gonna get good?
Soon, hopefully. So I'll walk back over with the keys. And before I give it to him, I'll say, and now we just require a name for our rooms.
And the one elf who has a bit darker hair, you might say, says, just put mine, Dayron, on there.
Of course. Okay. She hands him
He
the
is
key.
chugging some beers.
Which are the keys distinguishable? Because I basically just want to know so I can go search his room.
Yeah, they're like numbered, you could say.
Okay.
You could know his number.
Here's the key to room 2. And then I'll get to know the other guy's name because I asked for a name too. I mean, for the room.
And say L.
Okay, here's room 3.
Thank you.
And let me know if there's anything else you need.
Of course. It's like, why am I saying it for tonight? Like, it's fine. We're going to have an ale. As you're walking away. And yeah, what would you like to do? Just gonna wait for them to go to their rooms.
I'm gonna also see if I can like hear anything that they're talking about because I'm just gonna be like cleaning the bar while they're drinking.
So they don't talk about anything too interesting. Some business, some things that they're trading. They actually do seem to be having a business meeting. There's a lot of they deal Faithland in general wares, it would seem. So they're talking about all kinds of stuff and haggling maybe some prices. He's like, "Oh, get an extra deal, of course," because obviously just the night is going so great for them. They're making better business deals, and eventually you will hear kind of Dayron say that, "Not sure where Triton is. I wanted to speak with him." And he starts walking towards probably he gets up and starts walking essentially your way. So you'd have to like try to hide. Make it like a stealth check.
Okay.
You know, unless you just want to stand there casually, you could do that.
I mean, I'm just cleaning the bar. I work there, so it's normal. I rolled a
Yeah, I
7,
mean, that's a
so hopefully it's normal because I rolled a 7.
That's a good way. He kind of like maybe bumps into you and gives you a weird look. Like he's oh, didn't realize you were right there, but he just walks on, and he says, "Have you seen Triton actually?"
Yeah, he's about this tall. Is that who you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, would you like him sent to your room?
I'll meet him here. I'll wait here.
Okay. I guess I will try to not awkwardly go to his hiding spot and get him.
Yeah. I mean, for that one, it'll have to be a performance check or something. How are you gonna do it?
I think I'll just say he's probably on his break and like make a show of walking to where he is as if it's like he's obviously this is just our break area.
That's good. Yeah. Honestly, what happens? I'll have you make that roll still.
Well, it's a 2, so
I mean, like he's looking at you like you're acting really weird. He's giving you stink eye. But Triton kind of coughs, kind of kicks the door behind him, so it swings open. He stands up. Kind of looks like he just walked in. Says, "Hey, how's it going? Relieving you of duty, Lorena."
Thank you.
My
real name.
Get out of here! What? He says, "Can I help you, sir?" Dayron. What's going on? Dayron would just kind of say, let's go speak in private. And he says, okay, very well. And they'll go off into kind of just around, actually probably into what would be the chapel area. But since it's night, it's pretty empty over by the altar and the pews and stuff. And I mean, I assume you'll eavesdrop on them.
You assume correctly. I also will ask Triton later.
So do like a stealth, but also do a perception.
Okay. It is a 10 and a 15.
Okay.
A stealth and a what?
Perception.
Okay. So the first one I rolled the 10, but I also have +4, so it would be a 14 and a 15.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you're quite stealthy, and you overhear the gist of the conversation, which is Dayron will ask, "Any news on that job then?" And Triton will say, "Not particularly. No. Anything else you needed? Let you know if I hear anything." Say no. He'll say, "It should be going off though," and he'll leave the room. Actually, Triton will go ahead and just like walk back your way now. So if you want to do a stealth check, you do it.
It's gonna be a 13 this time.
Yeah, Triton kind of you can hide pretty sufficiently from him, but at the same time, Triton, you're not necessarily trying to sneak from. So if you'd like to hide, you can. What would you like to do?
I'm hiding. That sounded sketchy.
Yeah, Triton will walk back over to the bar, approaching back up, and eventually Darion will head off to his room for the night. What would you like to do?
I would also like to get a room for the night, preferably in room 1, so it's by his.
Okay. When you talk to Triticor, or not Triticor, you talk to Triton, the chef guy. He, muscly tattooed man. He'll say, "Well, that show was not as interesting as I would have liked. Are you planning to break the news to him later?"
I think I've ruined enough marriages today, and I'll wait till dawn.
How many marriages have you ruined? Oh?
No, I don't really keep track. What did you two talk about, by the way?
I couldn't tell you all the business of the guild, but maybe
certainly
you've
some.
got the coin.
You know I do. And I'll just
how much?
casually flick one of my coins between my fingers and then wait for him to talk.
So, money does talk for a friend, but not that much.
Can I
got
try to
any
make
more?
a persuasion check and say, however, I did get his friend to purchase a room for the night, so have I not lined your pockets fairly well?
It's a coin. You can make a persuasion check as well.
Okay, 14.
He'll definitely say, "I'll add the coin for your friend there. Still, give me another 3 coins on top of that, and I'll give you the information you might be after."
Yeah, well, I'm not really sure of the quality, so maybe after I've given you this much, you could give me a sample.
Tell me what you want to know.
How do you know this man, and why did you meet?
Why do you want to know, Lorena?
I have it on good authority. He is unsavory.
Well, I deal with a lot of unsavory types. You might know that. Deal with you, after all.
I mean, I literally tried to rob this place when I first came, so.
Yeah, well, it happens. I'm a share of robberies, no doubt. Good you're keeping off then. Well, it is an interesting story. I'd love to tell you.
And then I will get out 2 more gold. The 3, and I will put 1 down. And then, to prompt.
So I can't just betray a member of the guild so lightly. Let's see. You've put down at least the 1. If you just put down 4 gold, that'll be enough.
You said
4 total.
3. Then I'll give
3
you
more.
2 more, and 1 along with the one our friend paid you. And I'm irked, and I'll put it down because you know how I feel about my gold.
Yeah. Well, just to clarify, he's looking for. He did give you a deal with a good persuasion, and he is giving you that 1 gold that you already earned. But he still does want 5 gold total, so 4 gold from your purse is what he wants to see on the table.
3 now, some more information than the last.
Right.
As is standard. Payment on completion.
Pulls out his knife and kind of stabs into the table near the gold and says, "Fine, Lorna. This is what I know. I can trust you. This is what happened.
You can.
I arrange deals for the guild. I'm a high-ranking member here of our guild. I can give you more work, more lucrative work if you want in the future, Lorna, but Dayron hired one of our assassins for a job. And he's a new assassin, but he's the real deal. He's a boy from the town, from the city. He's young, but he's got potential. Anyway, that's all I know."
I put the next gold down. And how does one go about hiring this assassin? I also have needs.
I mean, just ask me, of course. And he'll
Great,
scoop
could
up
I get
your
his
gold.
card?
Just give me the information, and I'll pass it along to him. But it does cost. If you want the
How
job
much
done.
does it cost to arrange the meeting?
So to be clear, Lorna, this is the only meeting you'll get. You pay for an assassin, you get the job completed, you give me the coin and I'll pass it along. But it
Right.
will definitely cost
Never
you.
meet. I never meet with this man. Being.
No, Dayron doesn't know the assassin. Only I know the assassin. That's how it works, okay? It's the only way. What do you want from me?
I'd
You want
like
somebody
an
killed or
ale,
not?
and I'd like to stay in room number 1 while I think this over.
Very good. Give you a nice drink there. He says, that one's on the house, Lorna.
Thank you, Triton.
Of course.
And I'm just gonna take the key and go in the room and kind of like force myself to have that on the house as well.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't even know the effects of alcohol on the elvish mind, but I assume it's slightly different, slightly messed up. But, I'm sure you probably enjoy it. So, anyway, anything you'd like to do as you're thinking in your room?
No, I mean, I'm really pondering. I'm like using my meditation to think. I saw the star sign. I sort of know the star sign thingy on the guy. It's not the husband guy. Who would want to kill this guy that she's having the affair with that also knows Elrond?
I'll let you make an investigation check.
Okay, it's a 10.
Okay, so I will definitely say, the pieces start to click a little bit where it's like, based off what Triton told you, Dairion did hire an assassin through Triton. So that's probably what happened. That's probably how Dasteron was killed. Yeah. So I think you got to the bottom of that. You're not sure who the assassin is, but you do know Dairion is the one who paid for it. Pretty clear. At least that's what you would assume. It's pretty clear. So that's basically what you figure out.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just still kind of trying to mull over the symbol on the body. But obviously that one I'm not really clicking yet.
No real revelations there, no. Just to summarize your findings there, but you can definitely hire an assassin if you want.
That's like a really hard choice for me, not because of the morality, because of the cost.
Yeah, you're not sure about the exact cost, but you do assume it's a lot. More than you probably dropped before.
I'm gonna try to figure this out on my own so I could get paid from Elrond first. I might lie and just get this Dairion guy arrested so he's out of the way and tell him that he did it and that I'm sure, and then use the money to get this assassin and figure it out myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly reasonable. Anyway, though, while you're thinking that over, really, Triton would give you a free room for the night as well. And probably we'll hop over here to Cassandra. Really, I'd like to skip for your timeline. Go ahead and let you choose another spell if you'd like from that spell slot available. Oh, I only told you one other spell. Let me try to scrounge up another so you can make a choice. And you could try to learn another spell on the second day here of your long rest.
Yeah, definitely. Would I also be able to make another roll to try and learn more of the nature of the religions in the area as I study?
Oh yeah, I was going to figure out what you really learned, which I would say you really don't learn much. I'll let you roll another one of those probably later in the day. Probably you have a deadline to meet for your studies, so probably not too much more studying before that. But okay, so you already chose Fog Cloud. So there's Mage Armor. And there's also Grease. Your kind of teacher would say there is this other spell. It's a bit more difficult, though. Given how fast you've learned, you might learn it. It is still technically level 1. It is Witch Bolt. It might be harder for you, but you could try it.
Something of that nature might prove to be very useful for me. In fact, witch bolt, as you say, sounds very useful.
Might I also point to this mage armor is a spell I know myself. It's quite useful. Of course, witch bolt, even for me, is quite challenging. If you're able to master it, we will have to see, perhaps, about finding you a new tutor.
Of course, perhaps if it is something that is going to be harder for me to learn, would my resources or my abilities improve in such in just a matter of days for it to be easier for me, or is this simply my chance if I'm not to remain in the city much longer?
Of course, you could go on studying on your own, and we could see about perhaps lending you some of these books. You would have time, of course, to study in the future. For today, of course, we merely need a selection.
Well, then today, perhaps defense is the best offense. Mage armor it is, for now.
Very well. And of course, not to dissuade you. It is your decision.
Of course, I appreciate it. I'm new to this, I'm afraid.
Which bolt is a bit tricky, from my experience. But I believe we could get you to master this spell about as quickly as the other mage armor.
Of course, and then perhaps witch bolt tomorrow.
Very well. So we can try it here then. Go ahead and do a intelligence check as you start to study.
God damn it. That's a 5.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know,
Off
you're
my
kind
game
of
today.
I feel like you're focused on how many words are there? Is there a
Gosh,
sentence?
how many fucking words are there?
Oh, what's the spell? This is not the Bible. What?
Completely lost in thought.
So yeah, that definitely happens. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely take you a while then, I would say, failing that check, to actually learn the spell. You might really spend the rest of the day just trying to get the basics down.
Yes.
And you can go on to study, you know, your Bible later that night if you'd like, or anything else you'd like to do during the day.
I think she's pretty engrossed right now. I imagine her I think the book is probably too heavy to actually hold in the streets, but she is rushing from her quarters to the temple and back, she entranced with this book. If I can roll to learn more about this, that is another sorry. By the word, that's another 5.
Because of the word. Another miserable roll on this Bible.
Oh
this
my
Bible
gosh.
makes so little sense. There's portions of it that are actually in Elvish, and you can't read those parts at all. But the other parts are nothing like the Bible you know. It's like a completely different religion, it seems to you. You're not sure if Joseph was right about great agreements or not. But, you know, there's still a lot to read and mull over. I will also add there's a great chill in the air through the stone, and there is a bustle in the town as you make your way. You know, there is some flecks of snow that start to fall through the air on this second day. Light snow doesn't stick too much on the ground, but it is a chilly day. It's quite cold, but I'm sure you've got all your wrappings and you're able to peruse the streets just fine. It's not that cold.
Since I imagine she's getting very frustrated with her studying after spending an entire day thinking about studying and really struggling with magic, and then to get home to her quarters and try and actually study this thing she's been thinking about all day. It's a very ADHD mood that I've experienced, to actually get to the thing that she's been thinking about all day and also not be able to concentrate. Such a mood. I imagine that she pushes the book aside, and I think she would actually write to her mother if she can. That is something I would actually like to compose.
I'm thinking we could take a break here. So if you'd like to think about it during a break, we'll come back and wrap stuff up pretty shortly.
Okay, sounds like a wonderful plan. I guess I have to write.
Awesome. See you guys in like 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes or so. Okay.
All right, yeah, here we go. Welcome back to the role-playing game. We'll squish it. We'll squish it up. We'll finish it up real quick. With Lorena, we got to get through your second day because we got through Cassy's really quickly. So you've learned a lot of information there about this murder mystery that you're solving. How would you like to proceed with your information?
I'm gonna see if I can hear if that guy's still in his room through the wall.
Yeah, you could
Daron.
have listened to him through the night. You could have got the room next to him easily, and you could definitely hear he's in there and he's sleeping. You know, he's all alone, so not too much interesting happening. But yeah, I know you had your plan. You could just go tell Elrond what you've learned. Anything else you wanted to do?
If he's ever out of his room at some point, I want to go in it and look around.
He doesn't leave his room during the night, but I mean, he'll definitely leave in the morning. So you could go in after him if you'd like.
Would he be like
fairly
checking
early in the
out,
morning.
though?
So yeah, actually, he's gonna go back to Iron Haven. It looks like.
Okay. I don't want to do that then. I only want to go in if his stuff's still on there. So I'm going to go to Iron Haven as well and tell Elrond some of what I know.
Of course. You can return quite swiftly in the morning and get there before the evening and tell Elrond anything you'd like. In his private, he's got like a grand chamber.
Okay, I'm going to ask for a fruit platter to help calm my nerves. Can that be brought to me?
Let it be. Let it be. The servants will bring a delightful platter of, grapes and what have you.
Okay. So I eat those for a little bit, just like sitting there kind of pondering what I want to tell him. And then I say, more or less, I've solved the murder.
Incredible as usual, Lorena. So swift. Tell me what you've learned.
Well, it all started when when Aeon had an affair with the deceased. Then her husband simply decided to have him killed. I believe we should hold him guilty of this murder.
Aeon's husband, Daron, is the murderer then. That makes sense. Do you have any, what led you to this conclusion?
Well, I tracked him, if you will, and found that he fled the town. He left no valuables behind. And he's been acting very suspiciously. I feel we should at the very, very least question him on this, but
Of course.
it's safe to say I do know who has committed this murder, and it is Daron.
In that
More or
case, I will summon him before the courts, and we can investigate him. I shall call you as a witness. You may investigate him yourself if you wish. Let it be done. And he will,
Excellent.
within a couple hours, arrange a court meeting and summon Daron there. So there is probably the Archpriestess might be there, as well as Elrond himself. Those two would be kind of presiding, whereas the king's not here currently. They actually make up what you would consider the crown together. So they have some authorities, of course, but yeah, eventually he'll call you up, and Daron is there, essentially in this courthouse, and you can ask him a question or however many questions really that you would like. this is the first thing that's really going to happen as a part of this. Euron's, of course, like, what's going on? Who are you? Oh, you're the barmaid. Something fishy about you.
Is the
Quiet.
Archpriestess here?
Elrond will stay quiet and let you speak. Yeah, the Archpriestess is there, kind of on the opposite side of Elrond, basically. I would imagine there's like this central throne, really, that's going to be empty, though. And they're kind of like the right and left hand of what the king would be.
Okay, well, then I would just like to say,
It's the throne room.
how long have you known about the affair?
Do you mean my wife?
The affair.
Yeah, seems very nervous, but he'll say, I guess about fortnight or so.
And when, excepting for last night, were you last out of this town?
Out of town.
Aside from last night, when have you most recently
Around the same
left
time.
Ironhaven?
Around the same time, a fortnight ago.
And what was that trip for?
It was the same. I was having a business meeting with my associate of the Faithland Trading.
And what other associates? Only business?
Essentially, yes.
I
Just
draw
those
my
at the
bow
end,
and pointed at
Those
his chest.
passers-by.
Only business?
Order, Elrond, Lorena. None of that here. And the Archpriestess, as usual, such a brute, Lorena. The tip of her ear
I'm just holding
broken off a scar just on her cheek. She's like, you. She looks at you with her glowing like eyes, a tinge of red. She's like, we'll have order in here. She'll also gabble.
I'm doing nothing wrong. I just hold my stance and repeat my question. And was it for only business? I draw back a little tighter.
I wouldn't lie to you. It's mostly business. I mean, that's the only reason I was there.
Mostly? Is that what you said? Mostly business?
I just talked to I talked to my friend Triton as well. The innkeep.
Triton. He's told me what's happened. You need to come clean right now.
Make a persuasion check, Lorena.
Okay, 17.
Yeah, he will definitely break down sobbing and essentially just confess everything you need him to. He'll say, yes, I did it. I hired the assassin. So, I mean, yeah, really great job with that murder mystery. I mean, they will pass a judgment, to have him imprisoned for now. The king will have a final say, and they'll take him away. And the guards have kind of nudged closer to you as if to restrain you if necessary. But things seem to have resolved. Anything else you'd like to do?
Eat the pickled quail eggs from my pocket.
Okay, Sherlock Holmes. Amazing. Well, the rest of the day is pretty brief. Elrond will definitely reward it. We'll be very impressed. Honestly, Lorena, you can gain a point of honor.
Wow, this never happens to me.
Elrond just loves you, though. I mean, probably he doesn't have more honor to even bestow upon you at this point. So doing more things for him will not bestow you more honor. But he'll give you gold too. He'll give you 10 gold. You get 10 gold.
You know what? I always liked Elrond.
he'll say, Lorena, we will have to see about increasing your title as well. Regardless, we shall see you to a feast. And during the evening hours, Cassandra, you could join a feast with them, I'm sure. You guys would like to have a feast in Elrond's quarters. He'll have things brought up to you tonight, to kind of the main, lobby where we can eat in the main hall of kind of Elrond's keep over there. I kept saying fort. It's a keep within the city walls. But you guys have a great feast. Anything else you'd like to say as we wrap up day 2, I guess, then? Great job with the quest there.
I think Cassy, Elrond is throwing this feast in Lorena's honor.
You definitely get some of the gist of what's going on here.
Okay.
Elrond himself will be like,
I'm just
this is a grave occasion as well, for a dear friend has passed. He was taken crudely from us. Dosteron will be remembered. He was a fine chef and brewer and a great servant. One of my favorite servants. He sheds a single tear.
Very, very polite tears.
We both did not know him.
I think Cassy is going to
What?
Cassie's gonna come up to Lorena at some point, end up sitting next to her at some point. She's kind of gonna lean over and you seem to have been busy. I had no note that you were gone. I admit I was worried. You were gone for days.
All night, and 2 days basically since you've seen it.
Was I? Oh.
Yes.
I saw
Of course.
your note. You said don't mind me, so I haven't.
My apologies. I did not mean to appear rude. And of course, I am not your keeper. Of course, you are not beholden to me in any way. I simply had worried for you and thought, maybe naively, that perhaps you had simply left.
And of course, Tridicor's there. He's been sleeping a lot, but he is like, a note would have been nice.
Rest, though, TBH. He needed it.
Not that I noticed, but would have been nice to have a note. What's that?
I was almost to approach Tredicor about what we were to do in your absence. My apologies. I have been very busy while you've been away.
Oh, what have you been up to?
I have joined the Order of the Sixth Word.
The what? The Order of the... What? What?
The local church?
Oh, and how was that?
Fine, I suppose. I'm here to learn magic. I actually had wanted to ask you. Your reaction is rather strong. Do you have some affiliation with the Sixth Word?
Not anymore, you could say.
Do tell.
Things haven't gone that well with the Archpriestess and myself. That is all I am comfortable to say in this setting. However, if you'd like, we could hang out. We could talk in our quarters tonight. I'm nervous because of the note and how things went.
There's nothing else to do at dinner, so you can go to.
Of course. I'm sorry if I have been cold to you. I've had some time to think. I may not approve of the way you handle everything, but I think you're a good person.
I'm shocked a little bit. I'm thank you. I think you're a good human.
Now, I do actually have a question about that. I have been referred to as human, and whereas I may not have the best let's go to our quarters.
Okay, we could retire. I'm just totally clueless on this outburst. I'm she's moody.
We get up to our quarters. And she's just gonna like sit down. She's like, okay, I mean no offense. I like you, okay? What is up with elves and humans? I mean, I understand to a large extent, but there doesn't seem to be war here. I admit I may not be very comfortable, and I think you're a good person, Lorena, and I appreciate you, and I like you. I won't say that I didn't have or don't have trepidation. But what am I supposed to say? I'm not used to being treated like that.
Well, having grown up really not around humans, it is quite different for me, and while I do like you, I have felt the judgments and therefore felt I must judge back. But supposing you think I'm a good person and I think you're a good person, maybe it's all just, water under the bridge or what have you, those sayings.
Yes, water under the bridge is correct. I apologize for my assumptions about you, Lorena. I admit to having never met an elf before. There seems to be an awful lot of elves. Just trying really hard not to say you. An awful lot of elves around here, and I'm trying very hard to be used to it. I don't want to put any unjust assumptions, and everyone I've met has been wonderful, but it does challenge what I grew up with.
Who have you met, if you don't mind my asking? She's like visibly nervous.
I mean, you, barkeeps and that kind of thing. I went to the church, of course, and I met with a steward, a teacher. I met with the head priestess and the head priest. Very briefly, of course. They tested my magical skill. They seem to think I have some talent, which I certainly wouldn't put money on. I don't know, everyone has seemed to be very kind.
I see you have new robes.
Yes, I'm afraid they don't really match. This is such a silly thought. They don't really match the vibe, as you might call it, that I have previously had. And they kind of clash with my dress. I was actually I doubt they'll let me dye them. So I might have to get a new dress. That is such a silly thing to worry about. I know, though. So I just wanted to apologize.
Traditional on you, that's for sure. Not what you usually wear.
No?
And I'll just kind of awkwardly also say, because I'm like trying to be nice to you, I ruined a bar.
Oh my, you you got into a fight?
I gave out free ale.
That doesn't seem so bad. You ruined... What?
Well, that's what I did, I'm assuming, while you were at the church. I just thought I'd share a little of my day.
Sounds like fun.
It was fun. You should come next time, instead of going to the church.
I
You come with me.
Breaking bars does sound more exciting than the amount of bookwork I've been doing, that's true. I've also been doing some studying on the churches. Do you have any light to shed on the relationship between the different orders of the word?
Not particularly. However, I would say to be very careful with what you share or give to the church. Time, information, I would just be very wary.
Did something happen to you, Lorena? Is there something that I should be careful of? I mean, I've heard nasty things about organized religion before, but I haven't really believed them.
I'm like, Lorna's like at a loss. What I want to say is, you're right. Organized religion is not good. If I could teach you the magic, I would.
And you definitely have some memories of learning magic, Lorna. If you ever want to try to multi-class to learn magic, sure you could. As an elf, you might have to go and remember. You might go through your memory even and be able to. But might not be the most fun, but you could actually do that. But you'd have to wait, of course, till you level up, which would be a while.
Yeah. I think mainly what she's trying to say, though, is just like, do not get too close with this organization.
Like I said, I've been trying to look into the relationship between these different orders, if that's even the right word. Is there some amount of animosity between them that you know of? I know that they made me swear off or disavow the first and second order of the word, and whereas I have no true prior attachment, I seem to remember something of Tredecor's attachments. Is there some kind of animosity there? Should I keep this from him?
My memory is still a little foggy, but I think you should know that I was once part of the sixth word. And it is a dark place, filled with darkness. Just deadpan.
I think she sits back on that one, and there's just silence. I appreciate your warning. I will do my best to be careful. Thank you.
Maybe I could come with you next time you want to learn magic there.
I mean, you're welcome to come. I will ask that you not come if you're going to try and cause a scene and possibly jeopardize my magic learning. In which case, I would ask that you to take a separate trip, before or after I leave. No offense.
When have I ever tried to cause a scene?
Okay, that was a great talk. Let's skip. You guys sleep. Tomorrow, Cassy, are you gonna go learn Magicka again? Try to learn another spell?
Yes, I think that she's very dedicated. She's never
and
before.
What are you gonna do, Lorna? Are you gonna?
I'm going with.
How does that go down?
I'll be on my best behavior, as you say.
Yeah, let's go to the church. I think I give a quick debrief to Joseph to keep an eye on her.
Oh, it's not going to be a problem at all, I'm sure. Seems perfectly fine.
Thank you, Joseph. I'm maybe unnecessarily worried. But yeah,
Joseph.
Check in the classes and try and go about it and kind of pretend she's not there.
You sure you don't want to go get an ale, Lorena? Just kidding. We could play a card game while we wait for the lessons to be over if you want. How long are you staying?
Me?
Yeah, I'm just on guard duty here while she's learning.
I stay as long as she stays.
Well,
we can play cards.
About the whole day then. Yeah, we can have a game. I'm sure you guys will have a game this card game while Cassy is trying to do some more book learning. So go ahead and roll for, you're still trying to learn. Well, you have the choice. You want to try
Witch
Mage
Bolt.
Armor again? You're going for Witch Bolt. It's slightly harder, apparently. You can try it.
Yeah, I really want Witch Bolt. Cassy is deeply concerned about being... She's gotten no clear answers. Can she be possessed by her only way of doing damage? That's not horrible. But it's only a 12.
Barely enough to do the beginning phase where you're just learning the basics. But there will be, after about half a day of learning, you're going to go on to the next phase, more difficult. You're going to actually try to cast a Witch Bolt to have a good target. And you guys, of course, need all your ingredients, which are a bit costly,
Ooh, how much do
including
I
like
owe them? Fudge.
a twig that was like struck by lightning. But yeah, the cleric might say, checking all that out. Do you have any more to put down towards your enrollment fee?
Just the 1 gold for now. Does each lesson cost, or is it just a bulk enrollment fee?
For acolyte level, it's just the enrollment fee.
Okay, wonderful. I'll put another gold towards
Covers
that.
everything, all your materials here as well. Okay, of course. Thank you.
I'm broke.
Yeah, you got 0 gold left. But you guys
Sounds
go
like
out.
you need to rob a bar.
You guys probably, in order to do it, would go out or find like a very empty room. So we'll see if there's like a real nice room you guys could use. And in fact, your teacher is like, "Oh, I thought this would be full, but we can use this great chamber." There's like this dungeon down below, kind of where you guys were studying initially. There's this big, massive, empty room. It's really dark, but she lights some torches about, and she's like, "Here you go." She sets up like some bags of just like like turnips and like flour. She's like, "Strike that," and if you can, go ahead and try to cast your spell. And you guys probably will do a ritual again, and you'll use all your components and do your semantics. And yeah, you can roll for it and describe that as best you want.
Please, please, please. 14?
So 14's not good enough.
Yeah, I was betting as much.
But you can study a little bit more and try that one again.
I imagine if she does fail to cast it, it probably just fizzles in her hands. Like she kind of almost nope. Am I allowed to roll again for that?
Yeah, but first we're gonna cut out to Lorena, who is playing cards. In lieu of actually playing cards, we'll just roll a couple dice for luck and see how you do against Joseph.
8.
He has a 13, so he's winning. You want to roll again? See what happens as you guys are playing a lot of cards.
18.
You got 11. Oh, you're winning that one. Best 2 out of 3 then.
15.
You got that. You sure you're not using sleight of hand?
How dare you accuse me?
I'm just saying.
How dare you? So, did she learn anything useful here?
Who, me? No, nothing at
No,
all.
not you.
Oh, she's in the other room probably. We're out on a table in the hallway. Well,
I
probably.
know, I
Although
want to, ask Joseph about the day before.
they don't want us to see the actual magic that is. Oh, me? No, I didn't learn anything the day before. Her? Yeah, she did. She got mastered a spell already. I believe fog cloud, magical, wet, moist air. Very good. Very nice.
That
They
could
said
be useful.
talented kid. It's really nice. Good to be proud of her, regardless. You would see some priests or priestesses in their red and white walking by, kind of like in a chant, in a procession. In fact, you would see the archpriestess kind of leading this, who will look over you and give you kind of a stank eye, Lorena, and she'll be like, "What the heck are you doing?" And what are you gonna do? You're gonna just she just sees you. She's walking past.
She does ask why I'm here, though.
No, she looks at you. You kind of hear her mutter under her breath, like, "What the?"
I'm gonna stink eye her right back.
Okay, she's gonna actually turn around and she'll say, "Laura, I'm glad you returned. Won't you come speak with me in my chambers?"
No, I'm quite busy today.
And Lorna, I'd like you to roll like a will saving throw.
Oh, a 17.
as per usual, Lorna, you can you just give her the stink eye and just like completely cold shoulder. And you're playing cards. Roll your dice for your luck on your next card draw. Oh, I got an awful 4.
2.
I've won! That's amazing! I get the lot back. All right, and then you can go ahead, Cassandra, and roll for you attempt your wishful again on this dummy.
Please. Yeah, that's still 14.
Oh, not quite there. Well, that'll be that's like the third day. You guys rest, and you guys meet up with Triticor probably afterwards, and you would probably actually go on to, you do have a plan. You guys are going to make more plans, but you are going to potentially learn some information from some wise men. So we'll pretty much wrap it up. Anything else you'd like to add is you guys will not do too much else, but you guys will leave the church, at least.
No, I think that's everything. Cassie's just kind of brooding and trying to figure out spells.
Nice.
I'm just following her around for her safety.
You guys walk out into the crisp, cool air. There's like slight wind, slight snow coming down. You're leaving like this chapel attached to this massive church, this castle rather behind you, which is all really the sixth word. It's ominous and looms up above you. What were you going to say?
I'm so sorry. I would like to have, we don't have to run it. I would like to have spoken with Elrond. I have a letter to be sent back to Farleon with like high security. I am also broke, so I would like to bluff it if I can, or less like lean on Elrond's generosity and my rank and just kind of like, hey, send this for me, will you? And just kind of like...
Yeah, you attempt that. Elrond will be very happy to help you send your letter with most importance. He will, he says, yes, I could hire a messenger, or actually, where are you sending this? I could have it sent by a trained hawk.
That would be wonderful. If it can be sent directly to Riversdale in Farleon.
It should be possible. I will get some of my men on this, see if we do have a well-trained hawk, and it should be no problem, though. Not often we do send letters this way, so I'll double-check, but I do think it will be just fine. So yeah, you're going to be able to send that letter off, and you can definitely presume it's on its way safely. And you can definitely send that to me if you'd like.
Yep, it's already written up.
Perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Anything else you'd like to add? Oh yeah, good job on the murder mystery campaign. I actually wrote that today. Just the murder mystery part, and I was like, this will be fun. Let's do this, I guess.
I don't want to
Two
brag,
guys on
but
adventures.
this is like my third crime that I've solved, so...
She's a private investigator for Elrond.
It's going
Oh
really
my
well.
goodness. Gotta get me in on it next time. Cassie's broke.
I said, if you want to come rob some bars, you know what I'm saying? Just come along. I invited you. The money's there.
Invitation accepted.
Yeah. Well, I guess I will see you guys next time then. Thanks for playing. Catch you later.
Hey, maybe if Kyle's busy, we could do that.